global warming. I mean, it's 5 degrees in South Georgia, literally 20 miles from Florida, and we're sitting here talking about, hey, Merry Christmas. Here's 5 degrees for you, sorry, Southerners.
Dude, now you're making me want to look up what my temperature is going to be here in Virginia.
Oh, dude. Well, it's going to be cold and windy and rainy. We're going to send the rain to you. Just like, so see, Canada is sending the snow to you guys, and we're going to send rain, and that's what it's going to be.
I don't like
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm tired of, you know what I'm tired of? Canadians coming into our country. Need to lock that border up. Everybody's always worried about Mexico.
Got to build a damn wall.
Yeah, why didn't Trump want to build a wall from Canada? I think Mexican people are great. I'd rather have Mexican people here than Canadians.
Jacob's not even here to defend himself right now, man.
Neither is Thomas, by the way. He brought up Canadian people, and Thomas was like, "Here I am."
Oh, that was so funny. I listened to the show.
Thomas was Canadian.
That show was actually really good last week, fellas. Without me, I was pretty stoked.
It was awesome. We do great without you.
No boss, no rules.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
This is Fantasy Intervention. Now here to intervene with your fantasy life, Shane Manila, Jakob Sanderson, and Chase Vernon.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Fantasy Intervention. We are coming out to a little bit of a close for the regular season, but don't you worry because we have Dynasty Intervention starting up here in quite a few weeks. We're excited.
Oh, I like that show so much better.
I know. I was just going to say, did you see Shane's eyes when you said Dynasty? I think he pop. His eyes were just popping.
Look, I'm just going to say this. I don't know how many people are watching, but listen, you motherfuckers. You need to step your game up and play some goddamn motherfucking Dynasty leagues, goddamn it. Because Dynasty is where it's at.
It's your fault. You missed 2 weeks ago, and like every comment in the chat was Dynasty.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
everyone.
Worst week for you to miss.
But you were slumber partying with them chicks, so yeah.
Yeah. And there's some things that I do enjoy more than fantasy football. And banging people is one of them.
Banging people.
Yeah. So I'm not sorry I missed that episode, but I just want to put it out there. Join Dynasty leagues. Dynasty leagues are better than redraft leagues. Not that there's anything wrong with redraft leagues. It's just
hey. In my only redraft this year, and first redraft I did, I'm in Final Four. Had the 5 seed. I took out the 3 seed. I am now got to face the 1 seed. And projected points, I am leading. I'm going to kick his ass. So, here we go.
Love it, man. Love it.
Yeah.
No, it's on Sleeper, asshole.
Oh, my God.
I don't play on any other platforms.
Let's go ahead and let's actually dive into a little bit about what we're going to talk about this week because we had the playoffs upon us. Unfortunately, some of us ended up getting our asses kicked by Jonathan Taylor. So we're going to talk a little bit about, where we're going to go with the replacement of Jonathan Taylor. We want to know which is the running back to own, if either one of them actually are in terms of Zach Moss or Deion Jackson. Meanwhile, we want to talk about McKinnon and his hot streak, A.J. Dillon and his hot streak. See if those are guys that we want to play moving forward. And we have conversation regarding some of these stud wide receivers that have some issues at the quarterback position, not to mention our game at the end, answering your questions in between. So please get your questions in the chat, amongst other things. But we have something to start it out with, and that's some of the injuries that happened this past week, right? We have Ryan Tannehill, who ended up going out for a quarter, right? He came back in and played. He was not able to move around the pocket. He was not able to function. I mean, he was literally looking at his first reads, which could end up benefiting guys like Derrick Henry, who typically don't see targets in the receiving game. Derrick Henry, to an extent, benefited from that this past week. For Ryan Tannehill, Shane, are you concerned about the Titans' offense going into this upcoming week?
I mean, I'd be concerned if I had ever wanted to start any of their wide receivers, but I'd be concerned that I ever wanted to start any of their wide receivers. Derrick Henry is that offense. That's all I'm worried about. And look, it doesn't matter if they stack the box or what. Derrick Henry is just a manimal, and he will destroy that anyway. So I don't care. It kind of sucks. I don't know if Treylon Burks is practicing yet, but I did want to see Treylon Burks kind of finish out the year on a high note, and it's probably not going to happen with Malik Willis under center because, well, from what we've seen, he's very bad at being a quarterback, unfortunately. So no, I'm not worried, only because I wouldn't be counting on any Tennessee Titan wide receivers to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, Malik Willis is a massive plague, and I believe Ryan Tannehill is actually out for the season, by the way. But
yes,
Malik Willis is somebody that makes me nauseous because now, like, you don't even have to defend the pass, right? Like, you could literally just tee off on Derrick Henry, and yeah, Derrick Henry is going to dominate stacked boxes regardless. But now you don't even have to worry about the pass. You can go in single coverage on the outside and literally not even bat an eye. This upcoming week, they have the Houston Texans, and Derrick Henry is likely going to see at least 30 touches in this game. So, of course, Derrick Henry is a play up against the abysmal Houston Texans. But even if Treylon Burks was going to play, I'm not playing him. Okonkwo, questionable. I might play some Okonkwo because we know that they designed plays for him. But anybody else in this offense is obviously pretty much done at this point. I'm more interested for the DFS aspects as we continue to see this team push into the playoffs, possibly. Let's go ahead and see what happens over here with Tyler Allgeier as well. So I do want to go to Jay on this one with Tyler Allgeier. He looks like he's taken over that lead back role. We all know that Cordell Patterson tends to fade off at the tail end of seasons because he's not a running back, but he's been playing running back for the past 2 years. And he tends to just see an efficiency dip. Last week, Tyler Allgeier dominated, right? Ended up coming out, put up, it was over 100 rushing yards, I believe, 120. Correct me if I'm wrong. And a touchdown. Is Tyler Allgeier somebody that you feel comfortable starting moving forward for your fantasy leagues?
I mean, that's a question. I don't know if I feel comfortable starting him this week, but next week for sure. It's week 16. He's going up against the Ravens. Week 17 is against Arizona. But they are going to feed him. So if it's going to be one of those ones, if he gets, 20, 25 touches, whether it's, through the air, that'd be nice too, especially in a PPR. But if he's getting 20, 25 touches, even on the ground, I mean, he's gonna get a lot of yards just by volume, right? So I like Tyler Allgeier. I think honestly, Atlanta is looking forward with them moving in the Desmond Ridder. They want to see what he is. But moving to Tyler Allgeier, they want to see what he is actually going to become. At the start of the year, they had a pretty good offensive line, and then that kind of just disappeared. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I'm interested in Allgeier. I actually just picked him up in a couple leagues because for some reason in a dynasty, this rookie wasn't on somebody's taxi squad or on the waiver, or on somebody's roster. He was sitting out there on waivers. And I just picked him up in the same redraft league a minute ago because I was actually just looking to see what was out there, and Allgeier was sitting there. I'm like, well, I love Allgeier, especially if I make it to week 17 going up against Arizona. So we'll see what he does this week, and if he does good against the Ravens front four, then I'm absolutely plugging him in week 17.
All right, well, let's go ahead and let's hop on to our first listener question real quick, just to get the conversation here. We have Garrett Wilson, who I've called a couple different bust weeks from him. I've hit on the majority of the weeks that I've called for him. I think at this point it's kind of predictable as to what we're going to see from Garrett Wilson and when they're going to utilize him. With Mike White in the game, like, yeah, sure, he saw efficiency and whatnot, but Mike White is able to go to a second read. Zach Wilson has struggled with the second read thus far in the season, but Zach Wilson targets Garrett Wilson like crazy, regardless of what read he's supposed to be. Is Garrett Wilson somebody that we should start over Waddle or Sanders this upcoming week? Obviously, with Miles Sanders having a brutal week in week 15, and Waddle being a tertiary option in this offense, potentially, if you include the running game. Shane, how do you feel about Garrett Wilson Is he somebody that you actually want to roll out and you feel confident doing?
I don't feel confident actually in him or Miles Sanders, but I have more confidence in Miles Sanders due to the fact that Mustache Joe is going to be quarterback in the Eagles this week. So he's not that good. So I think it behooves the Eagles to actually use Miles Sanders this week. And the whole squeaky wheel syndrome, Nick Sirianni did come out immediately after the game and said me and Shane Steichen screwed up and we should have gotten Miles the ball more. Yeah.
He screwed me.
Second leading rusher in the NFL. Second leading rusher in the NFL, and they don't give the guy a touch in the first 17 plays, offensive plays. So I'd sit Wilson for Sanders. But again, it's more reading tea leaves than anything else.
I mean, Garrett Wilson's been really good up until the Bills game. So I do want to put that out there. But I mean, I feel like he's gotten lucky with a couple of different receptions here and there. And Zach Wilson, it's just tough to trust him. But I believe they have Jacksonville this week, right? So Jacksonville has been porous in the secondary. I kind of like Garrett Wilson. I wouldn't start him over Waddle. I would think about starting him over Sanders. Jay, where are you sitting with this one?
No, I'm with Shane on this, and not for anything that Shane said. The only reason is the weather that's coming in. This is going to be a horrible monsoon. Yeah. It's going to be cold, and it's tomorrow night. So I just can't see starting him with the quarterback situation. Look, Zach Wilson throws the ball up and prays that somebody in a green jersey is going to catch the damn ball. That's what's happened over the last week and a half or so. So I don't trust Zach Wilson. I mean, there's reasons to trust, to trust Garrett Wilson, but Zach Wilson I do not trust getting him the ball, especially when it's monsooning. And that's what they're calling for, is a monsoon with like 20-mile-an-hour winds.
That's brutal.
So that's not going to be good for the passing game on either side of the ball there for tomorrow night.
Yep. All right. I'm in the same boat with you guys, by the way. I was trying to play devil's advocate to an extent with Garrett Wilson, but I'm going to play Miles Sanders again, even though he screwed me really badly last week. All right. Let's see. We have game script should lead us to Jackson over Moss, right? Unless he's in the doghouse for the fumble. For me, I almost want to play Moss this week just because of the matchup. How are you guys feeling?
Yeah, I'm playing Moss. He got 20 after JT got hurt in that second drive or whatever it was. Yeah. Moss got 24 of the carries right away. And then of course once what's his name? Jackson fumbled. Once he fumbled, then he was out of the game basically. Now they've switched quarterbacks yet again. Matt Ryan has been benched by two different head coaches for two different quarterbacks at this point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not Sam Ehlinger. It's going to be Nick Foles. And I'm going to stick with Moss because I've seen the game script with Moss is with when JT's not in there, they feed Moss a good bit more. Now, again, that was with Matt Ryan, and we know that passing game is not great. Even in the first half, going up by 33 points, I think he had like 150 yards total. Ended up 150 yards total for the game, passing. So yeah, give me Moss over Jackson.
Yeah, I honestly, the Chargers just allow teams to run up against them nonstop. I mean, let's take a look at the matchups real quick. They've allowed 112 yards rushing, and then up against the Dolphins, they only allowed 64, but then 154, 125, 140, 127, 177, 202 just in the past few matchups, and it doesn't get any better for the previous ones either.
Well, you could say the exact same argument opposite, that Minnesota gives up 300 and some odd yards per game in the air, and Indy only got 150, or Matt Ryan only got 150 yards passing. So,
Yeah, true story. I just still think I'm going with Zach Moss over Deion Jackson. I mean, outside of the game this past week, the Chargers haven't allowed a ton of yards in the receiving game to the running back position. The first one that it happened with was Derrick Henry, and that's because literally Tannehill had to do one read and then just dump it off to Derrick Henry because he couldn't move. He couldn't get out of the pocket, and they did not want Malik Willis, playing that quarterback position. So, yeah, I'm taking Zach Moss over Deion Jackson.
Unless I'm reading this wrong, Zach Moss was he's pretty ass despite all the touches he got. I mean, he's not actually good.
No, he's not. Zach Moss isn't good. It's just
I'd
rather play.
Neither. I'm going to look for another option Go pick up someone else and do that.
You don't think that the volume alone will end up getting him
No.
there?
No.
Man,
Take away his touchdown.
I feel
What was he?
it wasn't good. I mean, did he even get a touchdown? What was it, a receiving touchdown?
I don't know. My dude averaged like 3.7 yards per rush. He's not good. He's a trash can. Look what elsewhere is all I'm doing. I'm just looking elsewhere if I can. If I have to choose between the two, gun to my head.
24 carries, 81 yards, no touchdown, one target,
touchdown.
0 receptions, no touchdown.
Okay.
So,
sorry,
okay,
no
Shane, let me ask it. Let's ask
9
it
points?
this way. Let's ask it this way. Zach Moss right now by ESPN standards is the 28th rated running back. Deion Jackson is 41 or 43 rather. So would you start Foreman over either one, Jackson, Moss? I'm looking at players that are in that same range.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Right,
I'm not comfortable really with any of them.
Michael Carter,
I don't want to talk about the Jets backfield.
Jeff Wilson.
Is Jeff Wilson?
They said he was supposed to be able to play last week, and they held him out. So they've come out and said that he is more than likely going to play this week.
Yeah, I see the conundrum there. I guess if you're just looking for the volume play, that you're going to kind of have to just lean on Zach Moss and hope that his trash can ass falls into the end zone.
Yeah, I don't have a problem playing Zach Moss in the flex, but I mean, you likely picked him up because you had JT and you're able to squeak past your opponent into the playoffs, which I was unable to do in like 5 of my leagues. I'm pissed about it. Freaking JT. And every single one, I lost by less than 7 points. Like JT would have got me there if he just played the freaking game. So anyways, no, I mean, I don't have an issue playing Zach Moss. If you have to put Zach Moss or one of these back end, RB3s out there, I think Zach Moss is still a legitimate option because you're relying on touchdowns. We know that Nick Foles probably ain't going to get you there, in terms of the efficiency. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk about Jerick McKinnon real quick. I do want to dive into how he's been a star for the past couple weeks, and he's won people leagues. And it's something that, some of us didn't see coming, but I mean, Jerick McKinnon's been on my radar all season as a guy who could absolutely explode. We know the Chiefs like to use veteran running backs once they make this playoff stretch, and it just feels like it's Jerick McKinnon's year this year. So are you guys a little bit nervous about rolling out Jerick McKinnon? Do you feel comfortable, with playing him? Are you still favoring Pacheco, or are you going after Jerick McKinnon? Which one are you, Shane?
I'm going with McKinnon for the upside and the fact that he's the receiving back, right? So I don't even need him to be good, but if he gets 5 receptions, well, guess what? There's 5 points right there, plus whatever he does with them. Plus I'll get some rushing work. So I'm going to go with Jet. And I'm starting him in a semifinal. Is that the one when there's only 4 teams left? Yeah, semifinal. There you go. Starting him in a semifinal. I just put him in.
It's a Shane's first semifinal he's ever been in before, so he wasn't exactly.
I'm never great with math. But I'm starting him over Zonovan Knight and Zach Moss and Antonio Gibson and Drake London for what it's worth. So I'm pretty comfortable starting him.
I mean, Jerick McKinnon's been good throughout his career. He just can't stay healthy, throughout these games.
No. He's had a long stretch where he hasn't actually done anything at all, where he's just been a dude. But yeah, I mean, injuries definitely derailed what could have been.
So he's been a dude in terms of like overall production, but when it comes to his efficiency, he's actually been wildly efficient outside of like 2 years. I mean, he's gotten in the end zone in terms of like his touchdown percentage. He's done stuff that we don't normally see out of typical running backs who don't get to see the field. And normally it's because he's aching or he's hurting or he's dealing with the old sprain or, he's still recovering from this injury or that injury.
That's part of his efficiency is built around the fact that you can't run him a lot because he'll break down.
Well, I mean, when he's carrying a whole backfield like he has been for the last couple of weeks with the Chiefs, I mean, what do you expect? He's going to break down. I mean, he's 30 years old. He's going to eventually break down.
Well, I mean, he's been
carrying everybody.
I'm cool with riding him to the finish line at this point. We got 2 more games left. They ain't going to get rid of him now.
I'm starting him this week, and I'm comfortable with it, and I'm much more comfortable sliding him over Pacheco. Like, it's not even particularly close for me.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm right there with you. I am actually starting him it is a semifinal, Shane, just so you know. It is a semifinal. Yes, it is. Okay. It is. So I'm actually starting him in a semifinal in the redraft.
But wait, that I'm in. Why isn't a quarterfinal the final 4? Because a quarter's 4.
Okay, I'm not gonna explain
It's
it.
1/4. A quarter is 1/4. So why
it's
isn't
four
it a quarterfinal
games.
4?
4 games.
Because it's 4 games, Shane.
Four games is a quarter. I mean, it's simple math, and we know math,
Well, man,
history,
look, me, man.
science, geography, not Shane's strong suits, and we're good.
Just saying, it seems all very sketchy to me.
Yeah, but
What
those-
about the wild card round?
It
When's the
seems
wild card
sketchy.
rounds allegedly take place?
That's the round of 16.
Okay.
Just, but no, I'm starting McKinnon again in the redraft league that I am in. When you sit there and look at it, his receptions, he's catching just about everything that gets thrown to him. Throughout the whole year, and then if you look at the last like 4 games, only three targets did he not catch. So give me that all day. But here's the thing with McKinnon is, and why I'm not taking Pacheco is last week alone, 4 rushes inside the red zone. McKinnon got all 4 of them.
Yeah.
So
he's getting the targets.
He's getting the targets, and he's getting the red zone.
Their goal line work. So he's getting all the high levels.
I got asked earlier on Twitter if I would start Kamara or McKinnon, and I am dead set. I'm sitting Kamara if I've got McKinnon, just due to the simple fact of you ain't been able to trust Kamara all year long. Why would you start now when you're in the semifinal game?
Because it's the Browns, and the Browns are absolutely abysmal up against the running back.
It's going to be 25 miles an hour wind on a sustained winds. And the Browns know. Yeah, the Browns know that you're going to be running the ball, so they're going to stack the box.
But the Browns always have that win, right? Like that's not anything new for the Browns. The Browns always have 15 plus mile an hour winds. The issue here is like, hey, there's nothing else that the Saints can possibly do right now up against the Browns. Like, I don't think Olave is going to have a massive game. Like, sure, they're going to end up stacking. Yeah, if he plays. Like, I think it's going to be Kamara is going to be the go-to guy. I don't know. I still like McKinnon. Don't get me wrong. I still like McKinnon a lot, but keep in mind, you cannot run up against the Seahawks. You can get pass-catching running backs up against the Seahawks, which is McKinnon's area. That's where he succeeds. So I do like that aspect. That's a tough one for me. I would not feel comfortable answering that up until the day of the game, and we get to see the weather conditions and everything like that for each team. So that's where I'm lying with that one. All right, let's go ahead and hop on to Arizona, because we don't know what's happening over there with the wide receivers. I mean, what do we do with DeAndre Hopkins? What do we do with Marquise Brown? Can we ever feel comfortable starting them again? Or are we just talking about like James Conner season for the rest of the year? I mean, it feels like they're just going to end up running James Conner into the ground. And I know they just gave Cliff Kingsbury a contract, but it seems like he needs to go. I mean, this whole organization just seems completely dysfunctional, all the way down to Kyler Murray. So, Shane, like, how are you feeling about this game? Are you going to play DeAndre Hopkins? Are you going to even take a chance on rolling out Marquise Brown? Or at this point, is it James Conner or fail?
Yeah, James Conner. That's the only one I want to touch right now. So Trace McSorley is going to be the quarterback, right?
Yep.
Trace fucking McSorley.
From right around the corner from Penn State. That Trace McSorley. You got to watch him.
Not really around the corner. More like 2.5 hours. They're very, very different folk up there, up those mountains. Very, very different folk than Philly cats. But no, I don't want any wide receiver tied to Trace fucking McSorley. Like, I just no. But I'll play Connor. Yeah, I'll always play the running back when the quarterback's bad, even though I know, and obviously the defense is going to go, well, Trace McSorley is probably not going to beat us. We should shut down James Conner. But if the guy's going to get 20 plus opportunities, I'm going to take my risk. I'm going to take the shot with him.
So real quick, I mean, Trace McSorley has been brutal, right? Like in 2 games where he's played at least, 10 plus snaps, he played 15 snaps and 26 snaps in these 2 games. He was 6 for 10 for 59 yards and an interception in 1. He was 7 for 15 for 95 yards and 2 interceptions in the other. But when we look at who he played, it was the Denver Broncos and the San Francisco 49ers, who are 1 and 2 up against the quarterback position. Very, very difficult matchups for this young stud quarterback. No, I'm just kidding. This guy who's learning, who's more of a scrambler, who always played outside the pocket, in college. And it's something as to where, like, if he's given the right opportunity, I could see him succeeding up against Tampa Bay, because you can't run up against Tampa Bay, by the way. Like, you cannot run on Tampa. They will shut James Conner down if he's focused on the run.
Trace McSorley's 27 years old. There's a reason this dude's never got a chance to fucking start because
totally
he's absolute trash.
I do think that he's trash, but I mean, I think I would actually roll out. I think I'd feel okay rolling out DeAndre Hopkins this week in the flex spot. I'm not going to go ahead and fade DeAndre Hopkins because of what happened up against the San Francisco 49ers and what happened up against the Denver Broncos. Like those are two shut down teams up against the quarterback position, two teams that can blitz and get after the quarterback, and two teams that will make a young quarterback, his third year in the league, feel very, very uncomfortable. So I'm not going to go ahead and just say don't start DeAndre Hopkins, but I would like to see if you have DeAndre Hopkins and you're thinking about benching him, who you would like to bench him for. So if you have that answered, let me know in the chat. Jay, how you feeling about that?
I'm going to disagree with you on one thing you just said is you can't run against Tampa because that was proven false a couple weeks ago when Christian McCaffrey just ran roughshod over him. Tampa's defense is good. They're not elite like they were. And I'm not saying James Conner is CMC by no means. But to answer the question, I am starting D-Hop. I am one of those guys. I believe you start your studs, and you they got you here, you play them. The problem with trying to play Brown is a deep threat, and there's no way in hell that McSorley is going to get the ball down the field. He's not going to have time with that front four that Tampa has getting back to him. So I cannot start Hollywood Brown at all. But I'm starting Connor, and I would start D-Hop. I think D-Hop can get the cross, some crossing routes. The other one that I'm interested in seeing now that Rondale Moore is done for the year is going to be, who's the other wide receiver that they got?
Greg Dortch.
Dortch. Because I think he did pretty good on some. I think his ADOT is like 4 yards. That is perfect for McSorley. That is what McSorley will thrive on right there if he can get it to him.
I do real quick. I do want to bring up that although Tampa Bay hasn't been elite for the entire year, this past 6 games up against the Rams, 68 yards rushing, up against the Seahawks, 17 yards rushing. The Browns beat them 131 yards rushing. The Saints, 55 yards rushing. The 49ers, of course, Christian McCaffrey came out 175 yards, but then 45 yards rushing for Joe Mixon. So they've actually shut down multiple running backs. 4 out of the 6 past games, they've allowed 70 yards or less on the ground to the opposition, and they haven't allowed a rusher over 60 yards outside of those 2 games. So I do want to make sure that that's addressed. I mean, they've been a lot better as of late because Vita Vea was out for a little bit there. They were dealing with scrambling around this defensive line. I'm very nervous about playing James Conner. I'm probably more nervous about playing James Conner than I am about playing DeAndre Hopkins. I'm
looking at the injury report right now. It came out earlier today. Sharenka, Joe Tryon Sharenka, he's questionable. Doesn't know what's going to happen. And then, of course, you got the back end with Jamel Dean. You got Mike Edwards. You got Antoine Winfield. And Vita Vea is week to week, so we'll see if he even plays this week.
Yeah, true story. All right, let's go ahead and hop on to some of these other listener questions real quick. We have Brady or Lawrence this upcoming week. Lawrence has been on fire. Meanwhile, he has a very tough matchup, I believe, the Jets, correct? And now we have Tom Brady, who we just discussed with a relatively, simple matchup to an extent. Where do we see this game going? And Shane, are you taking a chance on Trevor Lawrence to stay hot?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, T-Law's one of those guys you don't bench because of matchup. I mean, he's just been that good. He's in fuego, as the kids like to say. Brady's got a low ceiling. I mean, if not for last second touchdowns 2 weeks ago, he was absolute ass. I forgot what he did last week, but it wasn't really impressive. But no, I can't sit T-Law when the guy's had like 3 out of his last 4 games have been 30 plus points in fantasy. I'm starting him, firing him up. I got him fired up in my lineup too. I don't just say these things. I believe them. I'm starting him and McKinnon. Yeah, so
Trevor Lawrence has thrown for 3 or more touchdowns in 3 of the past 4 games. So, I mean, dude, he's been on fire, but the Jets are no joke. They're 8th up against opposing quarterbacks. You can't get it outside to any of the receivers, to be honest. Like, it's not just, Sauce Gardner. Like, it is legitimately every single corner, every single safety they have on their team has been locked down throughout the entire year. I feel like Trevor Lawrence is going to have to do it with his legs, to an extent. He's going to have to get in a rushing touchdown or two for him to be relevant. Meanwhile, Brady has a cakewalk matchup, up against the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, all right. Here's my concern is that they go up and they just run Leonard Fournette, down there, the gullets for the whole entire rest of the game. Like, I just don't see a reason why Tom Brady's going to have to pass, to be honest. And that's what concerns me more so. So it's like, do you want to bet on Trevor Lawrence getting in the end zone, or do you want to bet on Tom Brady being forced to pass the ball, or him just going all out because he knows that it's playoff time?
Yes.
Wait. He's going to play better because it's playoff time. What happened last week? Was it not playoff time last week?
I don't think it was playoff time yet.
It was. His stats were not horrible last week. He had 2 interceptions, and that caused his stats to be bad. He was 30 of 44 for 312 with three touchdowns.
The only reason he had to put up 44 attempts is because he was ass.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, Shane. Actually, because when you look at his stats for the year, going into the bye week, he has thrown 2 picks up until that point, and then after that, he's thrown. He didn't throw a pick against Cleveland. Then he threw 1 against New Orleans. Then he threw 2 against San Francisco. Then he threw 3 against Cincinnati. So there's starting to be a trend now that he's just 1, 2, 2. So it's starting to be a trend of just trying to get the ball down the field.
Yeah, but it's my
concern, right? But here's my concern, because the obvious answer is Trevor Lawrence, just because of the team and the way that Tampa's played, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But the concern for me with Lawrence is only going to be the weather.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to worry so much about the defense, because we've seen Trevor Lawrence go up against great defenses. We've seen him go up against bad defenses this year, and he's kind of a mixed bag depending on, I guess how he wakes up, what he has for breakfast that morning. I don't know, but he has been pretty consistent. Whereas Brady, up until the bye week, was pretty consistent as well. And then now the consistency for Brady has gone downhill. Even though he's getting 300 yards passing, he's throwing 2 picks, and then his wide receivers aren't catching balls or whatever the case is with Mike Evans.
That sounds pretty consistent to me. I mean,
that Mike Evans isn't catching balls. Right. Exactly.
Balls.
But so I'm going to take Tom Brady. And the only reason I'm going to do that is because of the weather.
Yeah.
The Jets are going to, the Jags are going to face on Thursday.
I just think it's going to be a terrible game up there. I mean, not a terrible game. It's going to be a very defensive and field strategic battle up there. Field position strategic battle. So let's go ahead and let's hop on to our next one. We have Schultz or Waller. By the way, if you guys are bringing in starter sit questions, they're answered a lot more accurately on Sunday mornings at 11:30 when we actually have time to dig into all the DFS matchups and all that other stuff that we do throughout the week. So you guys can ask all these starter sit questions, but when it comes to the end of the day, you might as well just wait till 11:30 and join us on youtube.com/fantasy intervention. Once again, that's youtube.com/fantasy intervention. You guys can bring your start sit questions in there. We will have everything answered a little bit more accurately, but hey, we will still do our best for right now. And let's start out with Schultz or Waller. We have a tight end premium of 1.75, which is pretty much double the amount of points in PPR.
So Shane, before you answer this, this is why this question is probably being asked, is because Waller is playing Saturday night at Pittsburgh, and then actually both of them are playing Saturday. Philly, of course, at Dallas on Saturday.
Yeah, didn't Kirk Herbstreit steal a touchdown from Dalton Schultz last week, or Hendershot?
Hendershot did.
Hendershot.
Kirk Herbstreit. Yeah, Waller didn't see. I know Waller scored a touchdown. At least I believe he did. I better check my own facts going forward from now on. But I know he didn't see a particularly high amount of targets.
No, it's only 3 targets. He saw 27 routes run, though. So he was out on the field. He just didn't see targets.
Yeah. I mean,
49% snap share, 3 targets, 3 receptions, a touchdown, 48 yards or so. But it was his first game back off the injury. So
a little disconcerting that his targets were so low, but I guess I would lean Waller. I'll lean Waller, but not with like a ton of conviction. It's just because Dalton Schultz could be absolutely nothing this week. I think Waller be a little more involved in the game plan. Like you guys said, it was his first week back. So I so
bad want to go against you right here, because I know you're going to be rooting so hard for Philly, but I'm going to go with you with the Waller. To be honest, everybody's, last week everybody's targets were down because that Raiders offense is what we thought should have been good. It's not very good, but I mean, they threw the ball 38 times, and that was it was horrific because I think Devontae Adams only had. I'm just going to look it up right quick. Devontae Adams only had 9 targets for the game as well.
Very low.
It's very low for him. Yeah. So I think everybody's targets were low in that game. But it's going up against Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's been very, very porous. Whereas when you're looking at Schultz and going up against Philly's got a hell of a defense. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be a good game, even with the quarterback questions in Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go Schultz on this one. Schultz has actually seen an abundance of targets over the past 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He's seen, let's see, 5 targets, 6, 8, 5, 4, 6, 10, 4 targets last week, and that's a down week for him. But I mean, like, he's running 20 plus routes every single game. Like, he's up there. He's all the metrics that we want to see. He's out there. And, up against Philly, who, I'm not saying they struggle up against the tight end position, but.
Well, they generally shut down the wide receiver position. So
yeah, exactly.
You've got to find another way. And it's typically not going to be the wide receivers. And you still have Reed Blankenship back there playing safety as opposed to CJ Garner, Williams, Johnson.
CJ.
It's got a lot of nice names.
Yeah, I just don't see how you can fade Dalton Schultz at that point, with an advantageous matchup, up against a favorable position in a game that they're going to have to pass. So I'm going to go with Schultz on this one. I don't rather not rely on a guy who, saw a limited amount of snaps and is coming back from an injury, who hasn't been good for like 2 years. He had 1 good season or maybe 2 good seasons in his career. All right. We have Mostert, Singletary, Colts running backs. Foreman need to PPR. So this is a good question because if Jeff Wilson comes back, I'm a little bit more hesitant about Mostert. I probably Singletary for me is the lock here. So then it goes between Mostert and Zach Moss. And I think I'm going to lean Zach Moss for safety purposes. Just in case. You're
going to fade Foreman altogether?
Yeah, I can't trust Foreman after you just saw 10 carries for 9 yards last week. I traded a 2nd-round pick on a competing team for Foreman.
And the problem with that is it's not just that. It was kind of trending that way. Yeah, whenever something trends that way and then it hits that mark, you can't just be like, all right, it's a 1-game anomaly. Well, no, it was going that way anyway. Chuba was getting more touches and more snaps for reasons that I can't explain, but it doesn't matter.
So you're going Singletary and Zach Moss. Is that right?
Yeah,
Chase?
I think I'm going to go Singletary and Zach Moss. So the Mostert's close. I think I'd still rather lean Zach Moss.
Okay, so and if Jeff Wilson plays, you're not playing Mostert at all anyway. I think
that's what I'm saying. Jeff Wilson's supposed to play, right?
Right. Yeah, I think I'm with you on Singletary and Zach Moss. And of course, if the word comes out that Wilson's not playing, then it's got to be Mostert, right?
Oh yeah. Mostert over Zach Moss if Wilson's not playing. I think that's pretty clear.
Yes.
Jamal, man, what's going on, dude? Love seeing you in the chat, of course. He said, should I pick up the Rams D this week or stick with the Cowboys? I mean, dude, the Cowboys could have a monster game, but they could also get completely obliterated to the point where you're not going to get any points from the Cowboys defense. It really depends on how your scoring set up. So, like, for example, the other week I had I think it was the San Francisco or the Denver defense. They had like 3 sacks, like 2 interceptions. They only allowed like 15 points, whatever week that was. Like, it was great. And they still only gave me like 10 points from the defense or 8 points from the defense. So, like, that was shitty. Like, there was no real points allotted to the position. If you're in a league where it gives you bonuses for, turnovers and for sacks, I think that you have to go to the Cowboys side of things because they have the potential to force those turnovers. But if you're going to get negative points, like let's say if you provide 35 points, like if the Eagles put up 35 points, which I think is absolutely possible that it could happen this week. If the Eagles put up 35 points, you end up getting like -5 from that. And then you're only getting like 1 point per sack and 1 point per turnover. Like, there's no way that I could feel good about playing the Cowboys defense because they could end up in the negatives. I'd rather take the shot with the Rams, who should see a lot lower scoring game overall.
Yeah, they're playing Denver.
Yeah, like there's not going to be any points provided for this game. So, I mean, it just depends on how your league is set up for me.
Russell Wilson should be playing in this game too. From what I've heard.
Sleeper told me he was healthy today.
Okay, so as long as
completely
Sleeper said it, we're good.
Let's ride.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go pick up the Rams D on this because I don't trust Dallas defense. They're not going to get very many sacks. I mean, Philly's got the best, if not, they're either second or third, if not the best offensive line, and that's what gives me a little bit of hope if for Minshew if he does start being able to get the ball out to start AJ Brown to Devontae Smith, Sanders getting some run. So yeah, I think on this one here I'd have to go with the Rams. Just because that Philly offensive line is so good.
Sometimes it's spotty. I'll say this, man. It definitely gets it has its moments where I know it plays like a well-oiled machine, but there's other times when you just watch it and you're like, what are you guys doing? This is brutal. But anyway.
that's when Kelsey goes and starts grabbing face mask and teammates face mask, and you're like, hey, that should be a flag, and it's not a flag because it's your own team.
Let's make it a Christmas album. Like what?
After the Commanders ended up blowing up the Phillies defensive line, they brought in Ndamukong Suh, and they brought in what's the dude that was part of the Vikings?
Linval Joseph.
Yes, Linval Joseph. These guys are depth pieces, but it's kind of given a rejuvenation to an extent, and also helped out the younger players on this defensive line because they've been able to rotate. And I called it. I was like, you got to give them a couple games because they're going to end up struggling over the first 2 games, and then they're going to let it all click once they figure out their gap assignments and all this other stuff. Well, 2 games. They got beat up by the running game. After that, the past 3 games, teams haven't been able to move the ball on the ground up against the running back position. So I do think that the running backs like Ezekiel Elliott, like Tony Pollard, are somewhat fades of this upcoming week, depending on who you have if you're in like 10-team leagues and stuff.
I was just fixing to ask that question. Are you fixing to fade Tony Pollard with this season that he's had?
In a 10-team league, I might. It just depends on who I have. But there's no running backs left out there. There's no running backs.
That's where I was going to go with that. Is there's no running backs left. So you really, honestly, I mean, I get it on a 10-man league, but in a 12 and 14, especially in a deeper league, you probably don't have very many options.
All right, let's go ahead and do this question. Then we'll hop on to our final segment, and we'll answer questions in between there. So in Dynasty, how would you rank the top rookie wide receivers going into next season? We have Wilson, Olave, London, Burks, Jameson, Pickens, Watson, then way lower, Sky Moore. I think Sky Moore is clearly last on this list. And for me, it's I guess I'm going to go backwards real quick. So Sky Moore's last. Mm-hmm. Pickens for me isn't in the same conversation as these other guys.
Jameson Williams is second to last, but you're wrong. But go ahead.
Wait. I love.
Well, let's do this the correct way, right? Because it's based off peripherals. It's based off stats. It's based off things like that, right? So Wilson and Olave are clearly tier 1. London is right below them. Then
I would have Burks above London.
You should. How many receiving yards does Burks have this year?
Burks has been injured.
That's not what I asked. How many receiving yards does Burks have this year?
I don't have that stat.
Go look up the rookie. Okay, go on StatHead. Plug for them. Go on StatHead. Look at the rookie. Look at his receiving yards. Or he's going to end under 500 receiving yards on the year. Look at the rookies that have finished their rookie seasons under 500 yards, regardless of why.
Currently, right now, he's got 358 or 359 rather.
Just go on StatHead. Look that up. It's not great, Bob.
Yeah. Oh, I know it's not great for that situation, but we're talking about injuries to the quarterback position. We're also talking about a generational switch. I still think that Burks is above London. It's not. It's literally the same exact offense, by the way. They are in the same exact offense. They are going to see the same exact, essential wide receiver role where they're going to be the wide receiver 1. The issue is that Treylon Burks is competing with nobody.
Okay.
In London.
Oh, that doesn't matter. Don't stop that. If you're a good receiver, you're a good receiver. It doesn't matter who you compete with. This is like
I don't think London's that great.
Well, I'm sorry that you're not intelligent. I can't help.
Oh, stop it!
You can't
Stop
be.
it.
You can't be good looking.
Listen, y'all
You
get a
can't be
room.
that
Y'all get a
pretty.
room. Y'all can't flirt with people.
No,
Y'all
no,
can't
but-
flirt with each
You
other
can't
like
be
this
that
on
pretty
air.
and smart. So I don't blame
You only
me.
get-
Blame,
But it's
You only get
blame
so
must be
funny.
baby Jesus.
So this is the same exact offense, right? Same exact offense they're running, in each location. They both have third round rookie quarterbacks who are both abysmal at passing the ball. They're more so runners. I mean, you have Derrick Henry, sure, they can compete with Traylon Burks in terms of touches, but you also have Tyler Allgeier, who's a perfect fit for the Atlanta Falcons offense. And then the only addition here is Okonkwo or Kyle Pitts. I mean, but they're both going to be involved in the offense regardless. It is literally the same exact offense, the same exact situation. It's just, who do you like more? Do you like Traylon Burks or do you like Drake London? And I understand that the numbers don't work for Traylon Burks because he's been injured almost the entire season.
What's
But
his target share in games that he's played?
oh my God, I
What's his
don't have
target
those
share in
numbers.
the games that he's played?
All right, Shane, give me a second to look it up. Let's go ahead and talk about these other guys, and I'll look it up for you real quick.
So let me rank them because I know what I'm doing. So it's
Get outta
Wilson and
here.
Olave. Wilson and Olave are clearly a tier above everyone else at this point. And if I had to choose one over the other, I'm going to go Olave, Wilson. Then I'll go London. Then Burks, Pickens, Watson, whatever. They're in the same bag. Then Jameson. And then Sky Moore shouldn't even be included in this class. Dude screwed me over so badly. I think Romeo Dobbs might be ranked ahead of Sky Moore, to be quite frank.
All right, so I'm gonna disagree with you just a little bit because I'm looking at it as a dynasty, and I know you got a dynasty head too, and I don't know how the hell you put Jameson way back like you did.
What do
Jameson
you
should
do
be
so
ahead.
far, man?
Doesn't matter. It's what is he going to do, because we've seen what he can do on a football field, and now that he's back, I mean, so what? He missed 16 weeks. Oh well, so what? So he's basically going to be a rookie next year is what we're going to do.
Mhm.
And he's just going to be basically in his head, knows the game, knows the speed, has the game, the book, all, the plays and everything already. He's way ahead of everybody that's coming in next year, and he's just going to blow people out of the water. So in my opinion, it would definitely be Wilson Olave. I would probably put Jameson, London, then Pickens, and then Burks. I like Burks, but I just don't see the fit there yet.
Yeah. So, and just one thing, pretending that I'm all
No, I just want to argue with you. Can we argue for a minute
to
about this?
pretend I'm completely secure in this. I mean, obviously next year could come at this time and so many things could change. But if you're looking at it just from an analytical standpoint, it'd be Wilson, Olave, and London as the guys that are probably hits. And then the other guys are all guys that you should probably fade, to be quite honest with you. Like every one of them. Like if you can get out of Burks, Jameson, Pickens, Watson for 23 first, I'm fine with re-rolling them.
Oh yeah, 100%. By the way.
Okay,
But-
real quick question: if you had London and Jameson, and they had the same quarterback, both of them 100% healthy, you would take London over Jameis?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on the system for me. The issue so I was looking up stats, didn't hear everything that you guys were saying on that. But by the way, Traylon Burks is number 12 in yards per route run. So
Oh wait, how'd that work out for Gabe Davis?
and
He was
I'm sorry,
third.
and targets per route run.
I'm just saying, Gabe Davis. When I kept telling people in the
targets per route
offseason,
run.
when I continually told people Gabe Davis is not good because his target share is 3.
Oh, we
people
will
told
have
me,
to revisit
well,
this. We will
his
have
yards-
to revisit this.
But what I was told was, well, his yards per route run, which is the most predictive thing since Nostradamus, says that he's going to be a good wide receiver. I said, okay, let's see. And then what is he? He's a wide receiver 3. But anywho.
I still love Burks moving forward. For me, though, real quick, because I don't want to spend too much time on this, right? We've
Right.
already
Yeah,
spent
I
too
got
much. Wilson Olave, tier 1. London Burks, tier 2. And Jameson Williams, actually. I'm going to put them in tier 2 as well, because Jameson Williams is going to be on a good offense. Goff is somewhat breaking out. They're probably going to end up drafting a guy in the second round at quarterback just to make sure that they have a guy that's up and coming. If they don't get a guy in the first round this upcoming year, which I don't see that happening. I think Goff is playing well enough for that to not happen. But this offense is clicking. He also fits a role that the Lions will love to have in terms of stretching the field. So Jameson Williams, for me, is still in the tier 2. Meanwhile, actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to put James Williams in tier 3 with Watson. And then I'll put Pickens and Sky Moore down below. But honestly, the top 3 tiers are pretty high up. I don't think any of these guys are elite. I don't think that any of these guys are
You
going to
don't
end
think
up.
any of the which ones are elite? I'm sorry.
I don't think Wilson or Olave are elite. I don't think either one.
Wilson's definitely elite.
I don't. I think that they'll be. All right. So where does elite lie? Because I don't see them ever eclipsing a top 5 dynasty wide receiver. Not with the wide receivers we have.
I say top 8 wide receivers, what we can call elite, and I can easily see both of them in there. Like I've talked about this for a few weeks, actually. Like both of these guys are in my top 8. Now I haven't actually done rankings. Well, I don't do rankings, so I got a feeling once I started trying to do rankings, I'd be like, wait, all right, here's 7A, 7B, 7C, 7D, 7F. But they're definitely up there, man. Like what they've done in their rookie season has been pretty phenomenal.
All right, who would you have? Tell me when there's the tier break for you for my rankings. All right, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Jamar Chase.
First of all, AJ Brown's not in Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase's team.
I like AJ Brown a lot.
I like him too.
CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Then after this year, it'll probably be Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill right there in the same tier. Amon-Ra St. Brown's right there.
Yeah, and I got Olave and Wilson, like literally
right after that, over Stephon Diggs, over Chris Godwin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and obviously
I don't have him quite that high.
I don't shooting upside.
I don't have him quite that high, but that I think that was a good little segment. All right, let's hop on to Jamal's question, then we'll go into this because I said we were going to hop into this afterwards, but he did bring up the fact that he missed the Trace McSorley news, so I want to go ahead and address this. Should he swap D-Hop in the flex with J.K. Dobbins or George Pickens? I would take J.K. Dobbins over D-Hop personally.
Correct. Yeah, because the Arizona Tampa game is Sunday night game. So give me J.K. Dobbins up against Atlanta, who is the 7th worst against rushing this year. They are the 7th worst defense against the rush, and they give up the 7th most points in the NFL.
7th most bad.
7th most bad defense in the NFL.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
It's a bad matchup for Atlanta.
All right, let's go ahead and hop on to our final segment where we take quarterbacks and tight ends outside the top 15 that we think have a chance to finish inside the top 10, and wide receivers and running backs outside the top 20 that have a chance to finish in the top 12. And let's start out with the quarterback position. Jason, you got my guy, man. You got my guy. Let's talk about it.
In quarterback?
Yeah,
oh my goodness! If I took your guy in quarterback, then it's going to be a long week for you. You listen. Through this whole thing, I shot complete upside because I've had a lead all year long, and the lead I just kind of let it dwindle all the way down to 4. I only got a couple weeks left, and I got to hold this lead. So I'm taking Derek Carr this week up against Pittsburgh. We've had some bad weeks with Derek Carr, but then he's always had 3 or 4 that are good weeks with Devontae Adams. Waller's now back. Hunter Renfro's back. Jacobs is just doing Jacob things that even McDaniels, right, with the S, McDaniels, that didn't know he could do. So now he's playing every damn snap, it seems like. So give me Derek Carr here up against Pittsburgh in that Swiss cheese of a defense they've got up there.
Did I not pick any players last week?
No, you did.
Right.
You picked
I'm in
players.
last, right? I'm in last.
Yeah. I should have. Yeah, you're in last by about 74.
Yeah, so I'll say this:
74.
Don't take start-sit advice from me because I started Zonovan Knight, who I traded for, over Lat Murray, and
I would have taken him too, though.
I lost in the HQ1 listener league. I lost by 7 points. Obviously, if I would have started Lat Murray, I would have ran away with it. So don't listen to me ever on start sits. And clearly is evidenced by this season. Listen to Jason, listen to Chase, listen to our Canadian friend up north.
That's who we listen to. That's who you listen to on Sundays. Yeah, listen to Thomas.
Listen to those guys. Yeah, Thomas also. Thomas Canadian Bacon. Thomas.
Oh, you meant the other? Yeah, you meant the other.
I meant the prettier.
Oh, you meant okay. So, oh, you meant the other Canadian.
Well, all the Canadians. All the Canadians. If you want to listen to Matt Donnelly, he's probably got a better idea than me. So just don't listen to any. I'm not even picking them anymore. I'm not doing it.
All right, so and I hate the fact that I have to actually reinforce your pick, but this is the guy I wanted. The Steelers would be dead last probably against the quarterback position this year if it wasn't for the past 5 6 games. 5 out of 6 games. They went up against the Saints, who we know don't pass the ball. 174 yards is what they allowed. The Colts, they only passed the ball 34 times, 199 yards. Falcons, we know they don't pass the ball. They only attempted 24 passes, 167 yards. Ravens only attempted 17 passes, 104 yards. And then the Panthers last week, they only attempted 23 passes. In 5 of the past 6 games, they've only given up 4 touchdowns. Outside of those games, they've been absolutely abysmal. Like you said, they've been pretty much like a Swiss cheese defense up against passing teams. And the Raiders, of course, they like to run the ball. However, the Raiders are also really bad on defense. And if Kenny Pickens can do anything up against this team, if Najee Harris can do anything up against this team, and they could force, let's say, 23 to 27 points, on offense, we could see the Raiders attempt more than 35 passes, and the efficiency that the Pittsburgh Steelers allow to the quarterback position will absolutely melt minds, and Derek Carr will be a QB1 easily this week. I love that pick for you. In terms of my pick,
thanks for making my argument for me.
I'm taking Goff, man. Goff has been on fire. He looks like a legitimate QB1 over the past few weeks, and Carolina's looked like a legitimate bottom 3 defense, although they've spent so many draft picks on defense over the past few years. They still look abysmal.
This is where Thomas would jump in like he did on me last week when I took Goff, and he goes, but Goff is on the road. He sucks on the road.
Yeah, I don't care about the splits as much outside of Amari Cooper. And Goff obviously plays a little bit better at home in terms of like momentum and stuff. But I've been saying this for a while. Like Sean McVay actually stunts quarterbacks' growth after the first couple years. If he gets his hand on a quarterback for 2 years, they'll be fine, right? They'll learn the system, anything like that. After that, he's so controlling and he's so manipulative that he actually stunts quarterbacks' growth. Now, it's fine with Matt Stafford, right? Because Matt Stafford's already been a grown boy. Baker Mayfield, though, has had terrible coaches, and all of a sudden Baker Mayfield looks, somewhat startable.
Stop it.
With McVay after that last drive of the previous game. No, but I mean, we see Jared Goff actually growing as an individual, growing as a player over the past few weeks. And I think that Jared Goff has a chance to really keep his job over there for the Lions if they cannot get their hands on Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jared Goff this week. I think that he still keeps his trajectory on up against the Carolina Panthers, who also have a chance to put up points up against the Lions.
Shane's gonna hate this, but I am taking Goff and the Lions as a dark horse
Playoff team
to get a Super Bowl run.
I think they could too. I think we could see something like the Giants emerge back like 10 years ago.
I think
take out the almighty Patriots. I mean the Phillies or the what are y'all called again?
The Eagles.
Eagles. That's what it is.
Mud hole in the asses of every Detroit. They're a cute little fun story, but they got to come to Philly in what would that be, January? They will get absolutely fucking wrecked, and Goff might never play football again after that. After getting sacked 8 times, he'll think he's Chris Everett.
Is that Chris Everett, the tennis player?
Yeah.
What a like freaking like how did you come up with Chris Everett? Like
I was thinking of Jim Everett, and then for some reason I could only think of Chris Everett from Jim Rome calling him Chrissy. And they get smacked in the face. But anyway,
that's what that is perfect because that is getting clipped. That'll be your new profile right there.
So check this out, right? This is a giant metal board. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's actually thick. It has some stability to it, but it also has flexibility. I got this from Trophy Smack. It's their newest product out right now, and I haven't had a chance to hang it up yet. It's going up this week. Obviously, I just got back in town from California, so I missed the show last week, but. You can print anything that you want onto these poster boards or onto these metal sheets. And these right here are the hangers. So you actually take this off, right? And you put it on your wall and it'll hang like literally anything. So like if you got a picture of like a hot girl, right? And you want to put her up on your wall and then your parents are coming to check out your apartment, you just switch it to a family picture, right? Like I have my little brother, I got him for Christmas. I got him this right here, right? So like this could be the family picture. As soon as my mom walks in the door, I can just literally switch it out. And the metal plaques, the magnets right here, they just switch out. So you mount this to the wall, boom, switch it out. You do whatever you want. You can customize anything that you want. It's pretty exciting, and I'm stoked about it. But you guys can go ahead over there to Trophy Smack, right? Go to trophysmack.com. Use promo code CIRCLE when you all check out. If you guys purchase a trophy or a belt, you'll receive a free ring with it. Go to trophysmack.com. and check out that stuff. Make sure you guys, check out and check out our new wall smack over there with Trophy Smack. You guys can see the trophy over my corner, the championship belt, for those people that are winning their fantasy leagues and dominating. But also we have the wall smack, which we're working on a promo code for that. But as of right now, we don't necessarily have it. So go check out over there, trophysmack.com, and pick up your new wall smack that can be customized. All right, let's go ahead and let's discuss the running back position, and we'll get to some of these questions. Once again, Jason,
bro, what the hell?
Get out of here. Jason, you took my running back again. What you got?
See, I knew I took this running back from you. I didn't realize I took your quarterback as well. But I'm taking J.K. Dobbins, man. Over the last 2 weeks, this guy has been an absolute stud.
Yeah.
I love J.K. Dobbins.
Back-to-back weeks of 120 plus yards. Back-to-back weeks of 20 or more touches. I believe it was. If I'm not, I may be a little mistaken on that because I'm so excited to have J.K. Dobbins finally back on the field, loving life. Atlanta, like I said earlier, gives up the seventh most. They're the seventh. How did I say it earlier, Shane? Seventh worstest defense in the NFL against the rush. I could see J.K. Dobbins going for another 123 this week. Even though he's not 100% healthy, he stated he's not 100% healthy, and that's the best part is he's not 100% healthy, and he's ripping off runs for 40 yards down the field. Double-digit carries. He's out-snapping Gus Edwards since coming off the IR. Week 16 against Atlanta. Again, seventh most rushing yards in the NFL. Week 17 against Pittsburgh. This is going to be a monster ending to the year for him, especially in the fantasy side of the things. So, yeah, go get you some J.K. Dobbins. Plug him in your lineup. He's basically a must start at this point.
I literally hammered J.K. Dobbins in so many different best ball leagues because of the finish that he had from weeks 12 through weeks 17. I mean, like that was the time to have him. So I love that pick. I'm going with Rachaad White up against Arizona. I do think it's more of a Leonard Fournette week, but Rachaad White could end up seeing that workload if they want to try and save Leonard Fournette for the playoffs. Rachaad White's young. They're still working on fixing this. And if it's a blowout, we can see both players touching it. I think Rachaad White's that guy. All right, let's answer a few of these questions real quick so we can get out of here hopefully by like 9:10. Let's go ahead and hop on to, let's see, this one right here, Kirk or Goodwin?
Godwin.
No,
Goodwin. Okay, it is Goodwin.
Yeah,
Goodwin. I saw the correction.
Goodwin.
Yep, Marquise Goodwin.
Marquise. No. Excuse me. No, we're gonna go with Kirk. No, it's Godwin. Nope, it's Goodwin. Still Goodwin. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Kirk.
Nope, still Goodwin.
I think it's Kirk. I think my only concern here is going to be the weather again, because we're talking about Jacksonville. I
don't like Kirk this week. I really don't. Up against the Jets.
Yeah,
Michael Carter's been really good in the slot.
Try to see,
really good. I mean, Goodwin is up against the Chiefs, and this is just a game where Goodwin can actually be involved with some of these deep targets where the Chiefs give up plenty of targets or plenty of yards in that area of the field. I kind of like Goodwin this week.
Yeah, you're right. I forget Tyler Lockett's also out, so Goodwin's going to have have plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett's,
and it's because of the weather and it's because of the Jets. I'm going with you. I'm with Goodwin on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Goodwin. Shane, do you want to change
sorry,
it?
Shane.
You changed my mind. You guys were very convincing. So I'm going to listen to whatever you guys say.
All right, Gabe Davis to George Pickens, PPR. I'll go Gabe Davis on this one.
I hate Gabe Davis. God, I hate Gabe Davis. Yeah, go Gabe Davis against Chicago.
Definitely,
I hate picking Davis. That. I definitely Gabe Davis. I hate picking Gabe Davis. This is Shane's guy. That's
against
Shane.
The Bears.
You should when a Gabe Davis question comes up, it should only be directed to Shane, and we should move on.
All right. Shane, are you taking a different route on this one? You going to Gabe Davis over Pickens?
No, always go with Gabe Davis because at least 20% of the time you're going to be right.
I'll have to look back at the numbers and clarify that, but I think you're probably close. It might be like 16.
All right, start one. Andrews against Atlanta, Waller against Pittsburgh, or Johnson. I'm guessing that's from the Saints.
Andrews.
Mark.
Okay,
Mark
so
Andrews.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
I understand he hasn't been
no.
good lately, but I'm taking that.
No.
Sorry, is that Jawan Johnson?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Johnson up against the.
No, it's
Johnson.
Waller. The answer is Waller against Pittsburgh. Period. The end. You're not starting Andrews over Waller with
What?
that. Yeah, no, dude. That's a horrible matchup for Baltimore. Against it, they got no quarterback. You're not starting Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's Pittsburgh. I mean, no, I'm sorry. Neither does the Raiders.
The Raiders, they got at least they got a startable quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm taking Andrews. I'm going
Right,
stud.
take Andrews. I'm taking Waller.
I can't sit Andrews only because I'm stupid.
I can't believe that I can't believe
Me too,
Andrews
Shane.
is-
I'll hop on that bus with you.
I
Like,
can't
if-
We're gonna
believe
head on the
Andrews
short
is
bus.
still the number 2.
We're gonna ride the short bus to the championship with Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I'm starting. I'm gonna have to go with Andrews here. I can't sit him in the title game. Oh wait, the semifinals, quarterfinals,
semis.
Sorry,
All right,
the
starting with
preliminaries.
PPR, Gabe Davis, AJ Dillon also has Jones as well, or Zach Moss. I hate the fact that AJ Dillon and Jones went off, and I got beat in a league where I had Christian Watson. And I was up by like 20 points, and I ended up losing that game because they had AJ Dillon and Jones. But I think that's the route you got to go. I know it could be more pass heavy in this game for the Green Bay Packers, and I do think that Christian Watson plays a major role, but I'm not sitting AJ Dillon. He's given us 3 straight weeks of 20 plus fantasy points. It's the winner. This is where AJ Dillon dominates.
Yeah, AJ Dillon started to look like the guy that we thought he was going to be this year.
In week 1.
Yeah. I'm fine with starting AJ Dillon. I don't want to ever start Gabe Davis if I don't have to.
Okay, here's my question: Is AJ Dillon? This is AJ Dillon time of the year for the cold weather. He's
Right.
done it in Pittsburgh. He's done it in Chicago. He did it at home against the Rams. This week they're going into Miami. Well, I mean it's going to be cold there too. So what the hell? Yeah, let's go AJ Dillon.
All right, start 3. Chubb, Latavius, Dobbins, Najee, Cooper, Cooks, and then after that we will actually hop on to our wide receivers and tight ends and finish off the show. Chubb,
We
you're
didn't do
not
that
benching.
yet? Oh my god!
It will take 2 seconds. Chubb, we're not
Jesus
benching.
Christ.
Dobbins, we're not benching. Wait, how stacked is this team? Jesus.
Start 3. I'm never sitting Chubb. Najee's been kind of smashing lately. I'm not starting Brandon Cooks. So give me Chubbs. I guess Dobbs and Najee. I don't believe I'm here, but that's where I'm at.
Cooper's at home.
You're not. Yeah, you're
I
not.
kind of want to play Cooper over Najee.
Yeah, but you're not starting Cooper in the weather that they're going to have up there in Cleveland. So
I think it's that is
Negative
what you
406 degrees.
think. That is false. That is fake news. Fake news.
I mean, he's building a wall over Canada too. So
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate that.
Canadians?
I
Yeah,
got to
Canadian.
take Cooper over Najee, but it makes sense to go Najee. At least you're locking in Chubb and Dobbins, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and hop into this final segment. We have the wide receivers that are outside of the top 20, 20 that have a chance to finish inside the top 50 or top 12. Let's go ahead and go with you, Jay. Who you got?
yeah, I'm taking Slayton up against Minnesota. Minnesota gives up 300 some odd yards per game, and I don't care if New York Giants go up by 55 and then come back and then lose the game. I don't care. As long as Slayton's getting the ball, and they have no other pass receivers, maybe Bellinger, but as long as Slayton's getting the ball, give me any pass catcher against the Minnesota D right now.
All right,
Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and take Christian Watson up against Miami. We're gonna have to see passing
Fucking
times
Christian
passing yards.
Watson.
Like, dude, I'm
You
so
know-
pissed. I lost a freaking I just needed 7
If
points
that
from him.
piece of shit would have scored that touchdown there, right, on the play before the 2-minute warning, or if he would have scored when Aaron Rodgers was throwing to him after the 2-minute warning, if he would have just turned the fuck around, I would have won HQ1 Listener League, but I didn't, and I hate everything.
I would have won a freaking Oculus from Des Bryant if
I
he
don't
would have.
know
So I don't
who
even want to talk
Oculus is.
about it.
Is that you were in the XFT leagues?
Yeah, I have the most points scored by like 150 points, but like the second place guy, it has the same record as me because he's gotten lucky as shit. He has 150 points less than me, and he ended up beating me on the best week that he's had in the entire season on what I put up. Like it was like 173 to 168 or something. So if he would have caught any one of those touchdowns, I would be winning an Oculus because nobody else would be close to me. Instead, I'm in second place right now, inside the top 25 for points scored out of the thousands of people that signed up. And
I
yet
don't even know where I'm at. Are those games still going? Are they head to head? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
what's going
they're
on
still
with
head
this.
to head. I don't really know either. But all right, yeah, I'm taking Christian Watson. As for the tight end position, I'm taking Okonkwo, who Malik Willis will need as a, he's going to need him as a reliever, somebody to catch underneath the release valve. I'm going with Okonkwo. I think that he actually has a good game up against the Houston Texans. Who you got, Jay?
Yeah, I'm throwing a dart right here and just hoping that we get like no rain in the first half, no wind in the first half. And I'm going Tyler Conklin, and this is strictly gameplay against Chase, Shane, and Jakob to try to win it right here. And if I can get 5 catches, a touchdown from Conklin against Jacksonville, I'll win this matchup. I'll win this game altogether. I don't even need you.
All right, let's go ahead and close this show out. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any other questions, starter sit-wise, please bring them into the chat. Sunday morning at 11:30, we're going to help you guys win fantasy championships. Once again, go check out Trophy Smack, right? So they have different sizes, right? You have this one of my family right here, and then I have like this size. So it all works. You guys can switch it out to whatever size you guys want.
That small one, that small one is of you, though, right? That small one is you.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
That's me running. It's not DeAndre Swift who I have behind me. But go check that out over there, trophysmack.com. If you guys actually want to purchase a trophy or a belt, if you use promo code CIRCLE, you will get a ring for free. That's right, a championship ring that you'll get for free that you can actually keep. And meanwhile, you can pass the trophy or the championship belt around to your league mates from year to year. Go check it out, trophysmack.com. Use promo code CIRCLE. You guys can find my buddy Jay over here at FantasyJ77 over there on Twitter. You can find Shane over there on Twitter at ShaneIsTheWorst. Do you guys have anything else to add before we get out of here?
Now you can find me as soon as we get done here. I'll be jumping over to the Going for Two. We got a little Christmas thing going on over on Going for Two. Just real quick though, I just realized this. There's only 4 games on Sunday. You need to move. You need to,
Christmas,
yeah, you need
bro.
to move the.
Wait,
you need to move the start sit.
I'm sorry, the starter sit this week. I apologize. I completely apologize. The starter sit this week at fantasyintervention.com is 11:30 on Saturday. I completely forgot about that. It's Christmas Eve, right?
Yes, Christmas Eve is Saturday.
It's on Saturday. I apologize. I completely forgot about that.
I thought I better get that clarified real quick because we only got 4 games on Sunday. We have and then we have a full slate.
No, it's on Saturday morning. It's
Saturday morning, 11:30 for start sit. Hey,
been out of town for a week.
Fuck it, I'm coming. I'm coming to start sit Saturday morning.
Let's do it.
What time? Yeah, I might be there.
Yeah, you're gonna
11:30.
You're gonna come to start a sit, Shane.
What channel is it?
Yeah, everything Shane says we don't do on Saturday.
It's Intervention. It's your show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, because there's certain shows you're on that I couldn't probably go on to.
Player profiler.
We're not supposed to name any names. Bleep that out. Bleep that out. Listen, thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for letting us in with your fantasy.
Also,
my bad.
Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate neither, that's fine too.
Happy holidays.
I hope the holiday season's at least good to you.
Yeah, for real. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for letting us intervene with your fantasy football life and regular daily.